What is good and how you been? Welcome back to another episode of Am I the Asshole? Music Stories. Now, today is another user-generated, submitted, however you want to call it, story. I can't thank y'all enough for submitting these stories because they do something for me. It means y'all are really listening, y'all are really adding to it, and you're becoming part of this community. And be still my beating heart. And just so you know, for your own information, I do this for the overlooked, the underbooked, and the overprepared. You're not solo in this. You're just meticulous. Am I the asshole for getting involved in the local hip hop scene even though I'm not from the culture? Didn't we just see a back and forth about this very subject? I've read the story ahead of time. It's not necessarily that, but it is an interesting topic to cover today. People who are not from the culture, I don't want to say they infiltrate. I'm going to say they get in and get a little abusive. Hopefully that's not the case today. I, 28 female, am a videographer and editor. I work in music, live performances, interviews, studio content, behind the scenes reels, the whole nine. I love storytelling, and I've always been drawn to hip hop because it's real, it's raw, and it has impact. All those things that people like yourself, documentarians, love to get their teeth involved into. I hope you're coming from a good place. Honestly, a lot of these stories do need to be told, and they do need to be elevated on a higher platform. And I think you guys, documentarians, they film things in such a way that give it some texture, give it some context, and it makes it real cool to watch and get into. However, on the other side of that, we've seen how it gets a little ugly. Think back to East versus West. It got ugly. You know, media got involved in it. So I hope you're on the documentary side and not necessarily the exploitative media culture vulture side. For the past year, I've been filming a docuseries about independent artists trying to make it in my city. Think mini profiles, following them to open mics, rehearsals, studio sessions. I don't ask for payment, just access and permission to post. I've built a small following doing this, and it's helped some artists get seen too. See, all right, you already cool. You already cool. The fact that you say you're not asking for payment. Now, others would ask, what are you doing with that? What is your next step after that? I'm going to speak for my peoples right now. Some of you might not agree with it, but I'm going to speak for my peoples. We tend to get a little bit apprehensive when we hear we don't want payment and you just want to do it because you love it. It's kind of that abused kid mentality. Like, I'm not used to people doing things because they love it. You know, that type of thing. And it's fair. It's very fair. But at the same time, we got to open up a little bit. Now, others will say like, well, we open and let everybody in. Recognize when it's real. And I have a feeling this woman is real. I have a feeling she just really has the same type of passion just in her respective field, in her respective lane. She ain't asked for payment and she's helping people out. I don't see the problem. Here's where it got weird. Recently, I posted a clip of a young rapper freestyling in the parking lot after a show and went viral. Not huge, but 100K views. Hold up. Okay, this is why I don't like that statement. Anytime somebody says, not huge, just 100K, listen, I'm struggling to get 100 views on my video. Just 100, not 100K, 100. So when you say 100K ain't a lot of views, smacking me across the face right now because I would love a mini viral moment like 100K across any platform. The closest I've come to some kind of viral moment is on TikTok. It was a video I did about Kendrick Lamar in the Super Bowl. And that's why it went viral, because it was about Kendrick Lamar. Now, the subject matter around it made for a cool conversation, but I ain't been viral since. And even then, it was only like close to 11K, maybe. So ease up on that not big. A bunch of local pages reshared it. He got new followers. I got a few too. Everyone wins, right? Apparently not. I have a feeling where this is going. Damn. Now I'm getting DMs from anonymous accounts calling me a culture vulture, saying I'm monetizing pain and exploiting the scene because I'm a white woman filming mostly black and brown artists. We do this to ourselves, man. First off, why is everybody a culture vulture just because they're doing something and it looks like they're gaining something. It looks like it. You don't know what she got going on in her pocket. Now, sometimes we do see culture vultures, where they appropriate hairstyles, where they appropriate the look and they put on the black scent, as we like to call it. But sometimes they really be like that. I got friends that are white and they sound blacker than some of y'all. It comes down to where they grew up and what they into. Obviously, we don't know all of that, but to put that stigma on somebody without proper evidence is a little unfair. That's one. Two, do it from your real account. Don't be anonymous with it. Because that's false flagging in my book. If you're going to here's one of the things. When it comes to racism, right? Racism, in my view, is better when it's blatant and in my face. Tell me you don't like me. I know to either steer clear or do something about it. But tell me in my face. On the other side of that, if you accusing somebody of being a culture vulture, say it with your chest. Mean it. Don't do it from anonymous accounts. It's not fair to them. Because you had enough gall to go in a DM and say it. Say it with your full chest. That's all I'm saying. One comment said, you wouldn't last a second living where these artists live. Stop turning struggles into content. Another one said, just playing documentary and that I only show up when it's convenient. All right, so let's put this in real context. All right, one, saying that they wouldn't last a second where they from. I get that. I absolutely get that. In fact, I used to live in Inglewood. I don't live in Inglewood anymore, but I'm from Inglewood. In the spot of Inglewood where I lived at, there were no street lights. And where I was, a lot of halfway houses are around there. Hence, a lot of different hoods are in there. So the fact there are no street lights means you should probably tread lightly. When they started to build a SoFi and they started to do a lot of revamping, I knew something was different when I started seeing a white woman in her workout clothes with headphones on, running at night. On that block, you feel real safe. That's great that the neighborhood is now becoming safe, but back before that wouldn't have been the wisest thing to do. So to the sentiment of you wouldn't last a second living where they live, yes, it has merit. But to the other points you said, you're documenting the struggle, you're playing documentary. What makes you think they safe? That expensive equipment, they don't have protection. She's not getting paid. Remember, who's she gonna pay to protect her? She's taking chances herself as well. Before you quick to call somebody a culture vulture, realize what they're putting themselves into as well. They in the same kind of danger. And I'm pretty sure she didn't know this rapper that she filmed. So she was really out there naked until she said, hey, I did this for you. I'm just saying. Hey, yo, since I got you here, if you have a wild story, janky promoters, studio drama, anything that made you question who was the real problem, I want to hear about it. I'm building this Am I the Asshole music story series off of real stories from people like you. The link is in the description. It's anonymous and it's safe. I don't need your name. I just need the truth. And while you're here, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to the page so you don't miss the next one. All right. Let's get back to the chaos. To be honest, that stunk. I've never tried to center myself. I don't talk over the artist. I let them speak. I don't watermark their footage. If they want clips, I send them. Yo, as a videographer, clearly, as somebody who's in this, hats off. Hats off. I appreciate you. Already. You can come film me anytime you want. And yes, I've gained from this, but I've also given a lot of my time, effort, and support without asking for anything in return. Yeah, I mean, for real, can I get a few followers? Can I get a few followers for my efforts? Can I sharpen my sword doing something that feeds my soul? To add on to this though, what's gonna come next? What are you using this for? And I think that's the part where a lot of us have issue. It's like, what are you doing after this? Is this where you plan on staying? Or do you plan to take these things that you're learning and apply them in other fields? Think of Post Malone. You got into the game through hip hop and now you have all these audio clips saying that hip hop ain't that serious. You don't go to hip hop for deep shit. That irks me to another degree, but then you take that over the country and like, oh yeah, now I'm popping over here. It's that type of thing. What are you doing with this after you leave? Do you plan on staying here and helping grow this as you grow? Are you putting the right people in position? And when I say putting the right people in position, I mean putting people who also do what you do, that don't share your skin color, that in position to do what you do. Are you helping out that way? I mean, those questions have to be asked here as well. Now I'm second guessing everything. Should I even be in this space? Or is the impact worth the critique? I've asked a few artists I've worked with. Most of them said I'm doing more for the scene than people who have been there for years. One of them even told me, you give us visibility nobody else bothered to. But still I wonder, am I the asshole for building a platform around a culture I wasn't born into, even if I'm coming from a place of respect and love? Oh man. Damn, that actually hit me a little bit. All right, shrug it off. We thugging it out. This breaks my heart because I'm one of those people that do act out of love. I show up for people. I pull up to their show. I'm gonna be the loudest one in the room. I'm gonna be in the front row, and I'm gonna show love. Not because I want anything in return, but because I would want somebody to show up for me too. It don't happen like that all the time, but you know, I want to show somebody the same type of love, and to be hit with the sting of, well, what you doing here? Especially when you know you coming from a place of love, it hurts. To the other artists that are helping her out, saying like, you giving us visibility that nobody else does, that's big, that's huge. And I don't want you to lose that. So to answer your question, no, I don't think you're an asshole at all. I think, unfortunately, I'm not gonna say victim, but you are experiencing the repercussions that a lot of your ancestors might have caused. Not might have, did. Unfortunately, that it's a double-edged sword. You're not the one swinging it, but you're the one that's about to get stuck by it. Because there's a lot that you gotta break through in order to make it seem that you're not one of them. You're not one of those people that's coming to make a quick buck off of the culture for your own gain. Clearly, you're not doing it for your own financial gain. You might get a few followers here or there, but let's be real. How do followers translate into real dollars? Unless you got something in the works, unless you're doing some AdSense and you got things set up, but you're not saying that. So I don't know what your pockets look like. All I'm saying is you got to work a little bit harder to prove to people. And that part sucks. That part absolutely sucks. I've had to work to prove what I can do on stage. For you, it's gonna be different though. It's just gonna be different because we got a lot of hurt on this side. And while people like myself can see your good nature, the unfortunate part, some people take a little bit longer to see. Some people won't see it at all. And at that point, you gotta remind yourself what you're doing it for. And keep that in mind. At the end of the day, man, I applaud you. Miss, I applaud you. Thank you for doing what you do. To others that are in that space that share her same hue, continue to give to the culture. Don't look to take from the culture, because that's what we all of us give to the culture, because we get so much from it. We get to be heard, we get to be seen, we get to be validated in this culture. And when we see somebody from the outside that seemingly takes from it, it hurts us on deeper levels than even can be expressed here on this channel. So remember what you're doing it for. Know that people like myself see you. Know you're not the asshole, but that's my point of view. Comment section. What do y'all think? Y'all think Shorty is an asshole for coming into the culture even though she wasn't born into it? Let me know. I hope y'all nice. Hey, hold up. Before you go, if you enjoyed this Am I the Asshole story, please make sure you click the playlist on the screen. The rest of the stories go just as hard, and some of them a little bit harder than this one. I'm trying to give you these stories weekly and possibly faster, but I need y'all to keep watching. So click the playlist on the screen and stay tapped in. And hey, if you have a wild music story, don't hold back. Go ahead and click the link in the description and submit your Am I the Asshole moment. It could be your story I break down next. Tap in with me. You know I tap back. Peace.
Everything meticulous.